An American destroyer detects an inbound drone 18 nautical miles away. Impact in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. The ship has 31 missiles left. Each interceptor costs $2 million. The drone attacking it costs less than a used Honda Civic. This exact exchange happened hundreds of times in 2024 as the United States Navy defended shipping lanes against Houthi drone attacks in the Red Sea. And every intercept exposed a problem the Navy was never designed to solve. Because the weapon built to stop this problem does not just shoot drones down, it changes the economics of drone warfare itself. The Red Sea Math. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyer is the backbone of American naval surface warfare. It displaces 9,200 tons. It costs $2.5 billion to build. It carries 96 vertical launch system cells, the tubes from which every interceptor missile in its arsenal fires. That magazine is everything. It is the ship's ability to fight. And in the Red Sea, starting in late 2023, that magazine began draining at a rate the Navy had never planned for. The Houthis' arsenal is built on cost asymmetry. Their Shahed 136 variant drones cost an estimated $20,000 each. Their basic FPV strike drones cost as little as $2,000. The SM-2 standard missile fired to intercept them costs $2 million. The SM-6, used against faster or more complex threats, costs $4.3 million per shot. The Evolved Sea Sparrow missile, the short-range option, runs $1.8 million. Every intercept is a loss on paper before the missile leaves the tube. The Arleigh Burke cannot reload at sea. When the VLS cells are empty, the ship leaves the operational area and returns to port. In the Red Sea between late 2023 and mid-2024, American destroyers fired well over 100 interceptors against Houthi threats. The Navy requested $150 million in supplemental funding just to begin replenishing those stocks. Production lead times for SM-2 and SM-6 missiles run between 12 and 18 months per batch. The attacker spends $2,000. The United States Navy spends $2 million and then waits a year and a half to reload. Senior Navy officials describe this model openly by mid-2024 as unsustainable. The physics of the infinite magazine. There is a weapon that fires for the cost of the electricity it consumes. No missile, no warhead, no explosive train, no reload. The HELIOS high-energy laser with integrated optical dazzler and surveillance produces 60 kilowatts of focused coherent light and fires it at the speed of light itself. The marginal cost per engagement is measured in dollars, not millions. As long as the destroyer has power, the weapon can keep firing. The physics behind high-energy lasers operates on one fundamental principle: energy density. Enough photons, focused tightly enough on a small enough area for long enough, will heat any material past its structural failure point. The technical term for how long the beam must remain on target to achieve a kill is dwell time. For a 60 kilowatt system against a fiberglass drone airframe, dwell time is measured in seconds, sometimes under 3. The laser does not explode the drone. It burns through its control surfaces, its electronics, or its fuel system until the vehicle can no longer sustain flight. According to the Congressional Research Service's 2024 report on Navy shipboard lasers, solid-state lasers are powered entirely by electricity. The cost per shot is, in their exact language, equivalent to the cost of the electrical power required to fire the shot. A 3-second burst from a 60 kilowatt laser uses 180 watt-hours of energy. At standard naval fuel costs, that is less than $5 per engagement. Against a $2,000 drone that was destroying a $2 million missile budget at a 1,000 to 1 cost ratio, the laser reverses the equation entirely. The Navy now engages drones at a cost ratio that overwhelmingly favors the destroyer. The missile inventory stops draining, the production line pressure disappears, and the adversary's cost calculation changes in a way they did not plan for. But if lasers are this effective, why not just make drones reflective enough to survive them? The Countermeasure Myth. The obvious countermeasure to a laser weapon sounds simple. Use mirrors. If the drone reflects the beam instead of absorbing it, the laser loses effectiveness and the aircraft survives. It is the first solution almost everyone suggests. It is also where the physics starts turning against the drone, because a mirror does not need to absorb much energy to fail. Even a surface that reflects 99% of incoming laser energy still absorbs the remaining 1%. Against a 60 kilowatt beam, that tiny percentage still translates into hundreds of watts of concentrated thermal energy focused onto a surface measured in fractions of a millimeter. And eventually the coating begins to fail, not slowly, violently. The reflective layer starts burning away under the thermal load. Once that happens, the laser is no longer hitting a protected surface. It is burning directly into the drone's airframe, electronics, or fuel system. And the problem gets worse from there, because surviving a laser is not just a materials problem, it is a weight problem. Every protective coating added to the drone increases mass. Every gram of additional shielding reduces one of three things: range, payload, or flight time. That trade-off matters because cheap drones only work strategically if they remain cheap enough to build in large numbers. The moment the drone requires specialized coatings, hardened materials, additional cooling, or redesigned airframes, the economics begin changing. Fast. The economic trap. The laser does not need to destroy every drone it faces. It needs to change the cost calculation that makes drone warfare viable at scale. This is the economic trap, and it is the actual strategic objective of the entire directed energy weapons program, whether the Pentagon states it in those terms or not. When American warships deploy lasers, the attacker faces a binary choice: continue using unmodified drones and accept that the laser burns them down at negligible cost to the Navy, or harden the drones to resist the laser and accept the weight, cost, and capability penalties that hardening requires. The first choice concedes the economic advantage entirely. The Navy is now destroying drones with engagements that cost less than a fast food meal. The second choice forces the attacker into the procurement spiral that the laser was designed to create. The DoD Directed Energy Roadmap, dated May 2024, projects increasing laser power levels from the current 150 kilowatt feasibility ceiling to 500 kilowatts with megawatt-class systems targeted for development. At 300 kilowatts, according to CRS analysis, the laser gains the capability to engage cruise missiles, not just drones and small boats. At each power level increase, the minimum viable adversary countermeasure becomes proportionally more expensive. The laser does not win by destroying hardware. It wins by forcing the adversary to spend their way out of the cost advantage that made their strategy viable. The drone's business model, mass production, negligible unit cost, and acceptable attrition rate collapse when each unit must survive a 300 kilowatt beam. Nothing cheap survives a 300 kilowatt beam without costing significantly more than cheap. But strategy looks very different when a destroyer commander has only 30 missiles left. The visceral consequence. 0214 hours. Red Sea. An Arleigh Burke destroyer operating under Operation Prosperity Guardian detects an inbound contact at 18 nautical miles. The track profile is consistent with a Shahed variant drone. Speed, 150 knots. Radar cross-section, minimal. The engagement timeline from contact detection to impact at the current closure rate, 6 minutes, 40 seconds. The tactical action officer checks the VLS status board, 31 cells. The ship has been on station for 47 days. Replenishment is weeks away. Every SM-2 expended against a drone tonight is one fewer cell available for an inbound anti-ship cruise missile tomorrow. The engagement authority is already authorized. The question is cost. A $2 million missile against a $20,000 drone. Again, the missile fires. The drone is destroyed. The VLS counter reads 30. The cost of that single engagement, $2 million. The cost to the attacker to replace the drone, $20,000. The cost to the Navy to replace that SM-2, $2 million, plus a production lead time of up to 18 months. Now render the same scenario with HELIOS installed and operational on the same ship. The laser turret acquires the contact at 5 nautical miles, 3-second dwell, the capstan. The laser does not represent a technological leap in destructive power. A 60 kilowatt beam is not a weapon of mass destruction. It cannot sink a ship, stop a ballistic missile, or project force across continents. What it represents is a fundamental inversion of the cost-exchange ratio that adversaries spent decades engineering in their favor. The Houthi campaign in the Red Sea was not an accident. It was a proof of concept, a live-fire demonstration that cheap drones, fired in volume, could drain $1 billion in missile inventory from the most capable naval surface force on Earth, while costing the attacker a fraction of that in production. It worked. The Pentagon's response was not to build more missiles faster. It was to change the cost structure of defense itself. A laser powered by a destroyer's generator has a magazine limited only by the ship's fuel supply. The ship carries fuel for weeks of operations. At $5 to $10 per engagement, the laser can fire thousands of times before the cost approaches a single SM-2. The attacker cannot drain that magazine by sending cheap drones. When that threshold is reached, the laser moves from counter-drone tool to the primary layered defense platform on every surface combatant in the fleet. Every adversary doctrine built around volume, attrition, and cost asymmetry gets recalculated. The weapon that forces that recalculation costs $150 million to develop and $5 to fire. The drone that has to survive it now costs more than the missile it replaced. The $2 million mistake did not fail tactically. Every drone it hit was a kill. It failed economically, and the Navy understood the difference. The laser is the correction.